Welcome to part 1 of Competency 11 quiz. In this video, we will work with properties of transformations.
Number 1, which representation of a transformation on a coordinate grid preserves congruence? Okay, well, that means anything that is shifting up, down, left, or right. That implies addition. And what we're not looking for is something that changes the congruence or rigidity of a shape, meaning it increases or decreases. Well, that implies multiplication and division. So, A, we have two coefficients multiplied to our xy, so that means we can't use A. B, however, it adds and subtracts. So that's what we need. C, that's multiplication. B, you can call that multiplication or division. Multiplying by half or dividing by 2, same thing. So D is not the option, okay, that we need. All right, so let's go on to number 2. A new shape is created from the transformation of an original shape. Select all transformations that preserve congruence. Again, we're talking about adding or subtracting is shifting. We're also discussing rotating. The whole shape is simply moved. Okay, so rotating, translating, meaning shifting, okay, or sliding, and reflecting. Okay, so what do we need to look at? A says rotation. Yes, that preserves. B, dilation. It's talking about dilation and we have the word scale factor. No, that would be multiplying or dividing. So, no. Translation, yes. And it says units down. That's exactly what we want to see. We're just moving the shape around. Reflecting, that's just moving, that's just flipping, literally flipping the shape over. We're not changing the shape, so we want that. Okay, E, applying a scale factor to area. No, that is changing the area of the shape. So we don't want to change the shape. F, a shift up by 2 and down by 1. Yes, that is simply moving around and not changing the shape. Okay, let's look at number 3. If triangle ABC is rotated 180 degrees counterclockwise about the origin of a coordinate grid, creating the triangle ABC prime, which rule describes the transformation? Okay, thing about 180 degrees, you're not switching the position of the x and y. And if you think about moving from the coordinate across, let me draw this very quickly here. You have a quick little sketch of a coordinate grid, and I have a point here, and I want to move it 180 degrees here. Notice I'm moving from Q1 to Q3. So I have plus plus. What happens is the numbers themselves will be the same, but the sign will change. Well, it becomes negative, negative. Okay, so what we need to do is look at A, B, C, D, and in which situation do we keep the X and the Y in the same position? Okay, well, that's A and B. Definitely not C and D. Okay. And then when we have which one has negative negative in front of it? Well, that's B. Now, I want to point something out very quickly. B, this notation where it says XY transform to negative X, negative Y. That doesn't mean that we're going to just slap a negative in front of that number. That's not what that means. What that means is the sign will change. That means change the sign here. See, it's not quite what I want. Okay, it's going to highlight. It means change the sign. So let's look over here. What if this was 1, 1? Okay, 1, 1. Well, over here, when we rotate 180, now pretend like I can draw correctly. This is -1 and -1. What happened? The numbers are the same. We just changed the sign. Okay. Okay. Now, if we were in, change colors here, say we were over here in Q2, well, then that's a little different. Okay. That means we would have a negative positive situation. Well, if we go 180 degrees over here, okay, that means now we have a positive negative situation. But let's say the absolute value of X and Y don't necessarily change. What we do is we apply a different sign, the opposite sign or the inverse sign, okay? However you want to look at it. Okay, let's look at number 4. Number 4, what are the coordinates of triangle ABC prime when the triangle ABC in the graph below is rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise about the origin? Okay, the first thing I would do is look at what would be the easiest to view as 90 degrees. So if we take this point 1, 1 and go, remember we're going counterclockwise, move it that 90 degrees. That won't take but a second. We discover that our new point would be -1, -1. Okay. And then from that, if we rotate, I'm looking at this base here. Okay. So if we keep rotating, that base should end up in a line coming down from that dot. Okay. And it would move 4 points down to -5, which would be right here. Okay. That all being said, let's start eliminating. Okay. Well, that means I need as one of my points -1, -1. Well, that eliminates B and D. Now, you may say, wait a minute, but we had triangle ABC and none of this is labeled. We don't need it. This triangle has unique points by definition, as of a triangle, it would have to have unique points. Okay. So this gives us two unique points that we have rotated counterclockwise 90 degrees. Okay. So that being said, I had -1, -1, but the other one should be -1, -5. Okay. Well, that eliminates A. Okay. It's backwards. Actually, it's kind of like keeping it's just not working. It's not showing a rotation, a correct rotation. But C has what we need. Now, let's go and look at the other point. Well, we need to go over 1 and for the original it would be to the left 1 and up 4. Okay. Well, for us now in this rotation, it's down 1 and to the left 4. So we would be right here, get a point at -5, -2, and that works. So option C has been verified. All right, let's look at number 5. Okay. All right. So number 5, apply the scale factor of 1/5 to an equilateral triangle with a perimeter of 205 centimeters. What is the perimeter of the new triangle? Okay, well, they've calculated the perimeter for us, so that's super convenient. So all we have to do is take the perimeter, because it's perimeter, we can take this number and just apply 1/5. And because it's scale factor, that implies that we multiply. Okay, so 205, I'm going to put it in parentheses, fraction 1/5, arrow over, close, press enter, 41. And that is correct. Okay, this is the last question in this particular video. Thank you for watching, sharing, and liking and listening. Okay, And absolutely 100%, you guys that subscribed are the best. Happy testing, everyone.